Now we will take the lesson of the Berlin Wall and how they broke this wall. Okay, again, what was the reason to build this wall? To divide Germany. After the loss of the war, they divided Germany into two parts. A part with the United States, democracy, a part with the Soviet Union, communism. Then they noticed that people from the Soviet Union side, as it is getting poorer and no chances for work and hunger, and they start to escape from this side to the other side. So they built this wall. Today's lesson, vocabulary lesson, is about the day they broke that wall. They broke Berlin Wall. Okay? Let's share the lesson. Here's the passage. It's on page 80, girls. Open page 80 and let's listen. Girls, did I share the voice? You heard? No, I didn't share the voice.
No, we can't.
I will reshare it. We will reshare it. Here is it.
When the wall came tumbling down. Oral history. My grandparents' generation came of age in a divided country. In 1961, East Germany's communist government built the Berlin Wall, which divided the city in two.
So the communist government built the wall because they noticed that people are escaping from their side in the east. Okay, and the east is what the communist side, and the west was the United States side.
The construction of this wall was a premeditated act.
The construction of this wall was, let's look at the word, premeditated. Premeditated. What is a premeditated act? The construction of this wall was a premeditated act planned by a vengeful regime. Premeditated act planned by a regime. So what would be the meaning of premeditated? Premeditated, comma, plan.
Keen, like sharp.
Are you here? Huh?
Plan.
Premeditated, planned, and planned.
Maybe calculated.
Calculated and planned.
Yeah.
Planned, when you plan for the to done it on purpose. To done it on purpose. Premeditated. It is the same meaning of planned because there is a comma, planned. Okay? Premeditated, planned. Grade 10. Today is Tuesday. It is your third day. You have to participate more than this, girls.
Yes. And by a vengeful regime determined to brandish its power in the decades following the Allied victory over Hitler's Germany.
Planned by a vengeful regime determined to brandish its power. Determined to brandish its power. It will do something to its power. Brandish its power. I will do something to its power. So what will I do to its power in the decades following the Allied victory? Because this is Allied victory. At the time of World War II, there were the Axis and Allied. Allied was Britain, England, France, United States. The Axis was Germany, Italy, and Japan. And of course, as we said so yesterday, they lost a terror loss. So after the winning of the Allied, after England, United States, and France won them, okay, the vengeful regime determined to brandish. If I divide brandish, it will be divided into what? Brandish. What is the meaning of brand?
Yeah.
New. Brand A brand is the brand that you wear, like Adidas, Nike. This is a brand. So why would, يعني how it is related to a country? Brandish is to make it branded, to 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 show the ownership. It is mine. Brandish is to make it a brand. It's to make it mine. You understand? To market.
Yes.
Market and make it mine. When you see a pullover and written on it Adidas, you know, it's for Adidas. You will not find it in Nike, right? It's a brandish is to make it a brand, to show that it's mine.
My grandmother said isolating West Berlin from the rest of Soviet-controlled East Germany was a way for the regime to thumb its nose at Western democracies. In a deft statement of doublespeak.
In a deft statement of doublespeak. In a deft statement. What is the part of speech of deft here? The part of speech.
Adjective.
Adjective, yes. Deft statement. Statement is something said. Of double speak. Double speak is when you say something and you mean another meaning. So how can I give an adjective to someone who talks a double speak, or how can I modify double speak?
Too much or
The person who uses double speak is he is what? He is fool, smart, or what?
smart person.
He's clever.
Yes, clever. Clever and smart. So deft is a clever and smart.
East Germany's leaders claimed that the wall would shelter its people from the ravages of capitalism. Even if the wall's real purpose had not been made explicit already,
Even if the wall's real purpose had not been made explicit already. The wall's real purpose, so the purpose had not been made explicit. Had not been made explicit. The meaning of something had not been made explicit. So had not been
Clear.
clear. Yes, had not been cleared or modified or told or clarified. The purpose has not been what is the word?
Modified.
Yes, explicit.
the truth was soon obvious to all. It prevented East Germans, like my grandparents, from fleeing to West Germany in search of freedom and a better life. By the time I was born, that ugly concrete wall with its ominous watchtowers,
This ominous watch hours here. You see the picture of the wall? Yes.
Yes.
So, by the time I was born, the ugly concrete wall with its ominous watch hours. What is ominous part of speech here?
Adjective.
Adjective. Ominous watch hours was a daily reminder of East German. So what is ominous? It's an adjective. Modifying watch hours. Watch hours, these who watch.
Maybe unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar, yes. What else? Ominous means threatening. So we can say a threatening silence, a threatening watch hours, a threatening condition. Something causes threat. So ominous is threatening, frightening. Okay? Bringing harm or evil.
was a daily reminder of East German control and repression. Rather than protect us, the Berlin Wall was a cruel blockade that cost nearly 300 people their lives. Some tried to climb or fly over it, and others tried to dig under or around it. But most failed in their attempts to breach that barrier. They were all trying to escape a country in which everyday life was marked by our political leaders' officious rules.
They tried to escape from west to east, from east to west. East is the communist government, to the other capitalism, as we can say, democracy. The capitalism is referred to America. So they tried to escape, they tried to dig under the wall, they couldn't escape. Okay, life was marked by our political leaders' officious rules. Officious part of speech is what, girls?
Adjective.
Adjective. Officious rules. So she modifies the rules. She will say that the rules are what? The
Controlling.
rules.
Controlling over them.
Yes. Controlling, aggressive, harsh, hard. Right? Officious. Officious is controlling and harsh.
Every law was rigidly enforced by the venal secret police. We both despised and feared them.
All the laws were rigidly enforced by the venal secret police. Venal secret police. She is modifying, because venal is an adjective, a police. She will modify the police and say about what on the police? Venal secret police. Where are you?
Dishonest mess.
No, where are you? Seriously. Seriously, where are you? I have 31 girls in the class and no one replies. Seriously, where are you? What are you doing?
Nothing, miss. We just didn't know the answer. That's
No,
why.
think with me, at least reply me. يعني I'm talking to myself here, Lujain. Please, girls, reply with me. Even if you don't know, just tell me anything you know. Otherwise, it means that the 30 are asleep.
Okay.
Where are we? Okay, حبيبتي. Thank you, Lujain. What does it mean, venal? Secret police. I modify as a police. How I modify police? What would you say about the police? They are good or what? Or what do you think of a police? They will
Not
be
honest.
modified as what?
Not honest.
They're bad.
What, Fatima? Who else with Fatima?
Jana.
Jana? Yes,
Yes.
Jana. It will be what, Jana?
And not honest.
Yes. Yes. And venal can also be bribed, and you can buy them with money. Okay, it means that what, they are corrupted police, and you can buy them by money.
Yes.
Okay.
Despite our fears, despite the guards, it was regular people like me who finally brought down the wall simply by walking through its checkpoints. Ironic, isn't it? What happened was
Despite our fears, despite the guards, it was regular people like me who finally brought down the wall simply by walking through its checkpoints. Sometimes they allow some people to go through checkpoints and go to the other side. Ironic, isn't it? What is the meaning of ironic? Ironic, we took it many times. Huh? Yes, when you say something and you mean the other meaning. Right? Or you expect something and another thing happens.
Yes.
Right, girls?
Yes.
Yes.
during the late 1980s, the East German government gradually became less rigid. Bit by bit, it began offering its people more freedoms. Then, in 1989, its leaders declared that on November 9th, anyone who had a proper visa could visit West Germany. I did not have
Imagine that in order to go to Riyadh Gallery, you should have visa. It's an example only, girls, okay?
a visa, but I went to the wall anyway with some friends. Within hours, the crowd had become huge, and it was clear that the guards were overwhelmed. They could no longer keep back the thousands and thousands of people who wanted to pass through the checkpoints. I'm not sure if it was that the guards were outnumbered and scared, or that they too wanted freedom. But suddenly the barricades were open, and when people began to walk through, the guards let them. That's really when the wall came down. We did not physically tear it apart, brick by brick, but it was clear the wall no longer served as a threat or a barricade. In our minds, it was already gone.
The guards also, yeah, when she went to the wall, there thousands of people were there, as you can see in the picture, and then they went through the wall and through the checkpoints. They didn't physically break it into bricks, but they passed through it, and she says maybe the guards themselves wanted to have this freedom.
I will never forget what it was like to be in Berlin that November. Everywhere in the streets, people were dancing and laughing. You could hear horns and music from one end of the city to the other. I saw people spray painting democratic slogans on the wall and even hammering off chunks to keep as souvenirs. Everyone was smiling and laughing. It was an amazing contrast to the gloom I used to feel when walking past the wall as a kid. On November 10th, my friend Anya and I went to the stately Brandenburg Gate.
My friend Anya and I went to the stately Brandenburg Gate. What is stately Brandenburg is the noun for the gate. Brandenburg Gate, stately. Stately gate. She went to the stately gate. Huh? Stately means what? Magnificent. Stately means magnificent, wonderful.
The centuries-old symbol of Berlin that had been cut in two by the wall. People were still gathering in the streets, still dancing, still laughing. We were all celebrating freedom, something most of us probably never thought we would experience. Suddenly, as Anya and I were dancing, an armed soldier left his post by the wall and walked toward us. That made Anya and me nervous. He reached out to shake our hands. Then he and I swapped caps. We each had a huge smile on our face. I swear, it was the pinnacle of our lives,
I swear, it was the pinnacle of our lives. What is the meaning of pinnacle? Pinnacle of our... The highest point, yes.
happiest day ever. Imagine the solace that comes from realizing that in just 24 hours, we had gone from being enemies to being friends.
Yes. So when she went to the other side, an officer came and he said hello to them. And imagine that we were enemies yesterday and today we are friends. Imagine the solace that comes. The solace that comes.
Means relief.
The relaxation.
Yeah, relaxation, relief, yes. Yes, comfort, yes.
Although joy was rampant and evident in everyone's eyes,
Although joy was rampant and evident, joy was rampant. Rampant is an adjective, so joy was rampant and evident in anyone's eyes. Rampant means what?
Can be seen.
Yes, violently spread.
Gone.
It is a spread, raging. Wow, spreading everywhere. Okay, joy, rampant. Joy was rampant, wild. You know, when the joy is wild, it is in the eyes of everyone.
within days our delight was muted by concerns about what was ahead for our country. We were no longer trapped behind the wall, but we had lived for generations under a harsh regime. To get by, East Germans had learned to suppress their hopes and dreams.
Because they lived for generations under a harsh regime, they get to learn to suppress their hopes and dreams. Suppress their hopes and dreams. To suppress their hopes and dreams. Do what to hopes and dreams?
Make them less.
Make them less or bring them to an end. Right, girls? Suppress your dream. Don't let anyone suppress your dream. So what is suppress?
Stop your dream.
Yes.
Citizens had to accede to the rules of the communist system.
Citizens had to accede to the rules of the communist system. Accede to the rules. You do what to rules? You have two things to rules. You follow the rules or you stand against the rules. Here, citizens had to accede toward the rules. So they had to do what toward the rules?
Follow the rules.
Follow and hear and give approval.
Or face prison, or worse. Now that the wall was down and our government was weakened, how would we extirpate the fears and anxieties that had plagued our lives?
Now, when the government was weakened, how would we extirpate the fears and anxieties? Do what to extirpate the anxieties?
Destroy them.
Yeah.
Destroy them.
Destroy. Yes. How they? After the regime has gone away, how can we live without it? How can we remove them? How can we destroy it? The fears. How can we destroy the fear of them? Because we had to follow the rules, otherwise we were put into jail. How can we be free now? To extirpate is to finish all the fears. How can we?
These were the questions people asked in the days and weeks after the Berlin Wall fell. But during those glorious first days, all we knew was that we were making history, and that soon the two Germanys would be reunited as a single nation.
Yes, and then the two Germans were united into one nation. When they broke it, it was 1989. Okay, as you can see in the pictures, when they broke the Berlin Wall, 1989.
Miss, can I ask you a question?
Yes,
Miss, the souvenirs, the one who followed the communist rule, they were put originally well, because of the rulers.
they were what originally?
And poor when they were divided.
They were poor
Because of,
because they follow the communist system. The communist system doesn't allow a person to work for his own. No, the government gives work for all the citizens. All citizens are equal. The government is responsible to give you the medicine, the food, everything. So in order, they say, in order to guarantee the equality for all the citizens, but actually it's not equality. The government brings them hunger and poor. Okay, so this is because of the system. They work in factories. The system itself, not like capitalism. Capitalism is a person can have his own job. He can have his own business. Okay, yani imagine if it's a communism country, if we live in a communist country, we wouldn't be able to have our own schools. Yani, the school should be with the government. Hospital, government. Governmental hospitals only, school hospital only, governmental schools only. You understand? So you are not allowed to do anything by your own.
yes.
Okay, so it doesn't guarantee progress to anyone, to any of the citizens, or any prosper for any of them. That's why. And then what made it worse, the Soviet Union started to lose. It is another side. The Soviet Union went to conquer Afghanistan, and this and they were in Afghanistan, problems happened, and that was the reason. Yani when Soviet Union conquered Afghanistan, they lost the war there, and Afghanistan won. So they lost a lot of money in this war. And when they lose money, of course, the government depends on money. The whole country depends on money. At that time, Soviet Union was divided into countries, and it's not Soviet Union. It became Russia, Azerbaijan, and other countries with and which I don't know their names. You understand? So at that time, Soviet Union lost its power and was divided into Russia and other countries. You got it?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Yes. We go for 5 minutes break, and we see you. I see you after 5 minutes. Okay?
Okay.
Yes. Bye. Wash your faces. So when you come back, you are awake. Wash your faces. Go wash your faces. يلا go wash your faces. هسي.